share a little bit update on our missions work. As many of you know, my wife and I, my wife Krista, we've been involved in Serbia since the early 90s. Lived over there back then for a short time, and we've continued to be predominantly in the northern part of Serbia, which formerly was a part of Hungary. So in that area you have Hungarians and Serbians. So you have both languages that you're dealing with. And we're going to be working our best at learning Serbian, and because it's the easier of the two, basically. Hungarian's pretty difficult. But a lot of the people understand and speak some English, so that helps a lot. Especially a lot of the younger folk speak English, understand it somewhat, and so that's very helpful. But as many of you know, we went over there about around the middle part of October and stayed for about 6 weeks, went over getting things situated. We've got an apartment there, and God's just blessed, and we had some great times meeting with a lot of the people that we're going to be working with that we've known for a long time now. And there's about 5 or 6 different churches that we're predominantly involved with in that region. Just to give you a quick, background, as many of you know, Serbia, of course, was where the Balkan conflict was going on through the 90s. And it pretty well devastated Serbia. And, of course, they're the ones that started it. It's when Serbia invaded Croatia and then, of course, Bosnia and all of that. Serbia is kind of like the last country in that whole area that's kind of leans towards a communist-type country. Now, they've moved away from that, and it's pretty much a democratic country, so to speak. But still, they're still just recovering from all of that conflict. The economy is terrible. There's about 30 to 40% unemployment. So Serbia it's one of those areas that's never been a popular place, for people to go to, even like for missionaries to go to. I mean, like right now, there's like, I'm told there's about 18, counting my wife and I, missionaries in the whole country of Serbia, about 7.5 million people. It's just not a popular place. There's freedom there to practice, Christianity, but it's predominantly not 98, 99% Eastern Orthodox, and then then a good number of Catholic, and of course there's a lot of Muslim there now, and then there's several churches, not a lot. That's the thing about that area there. It's certainly not what we would refer to as an unreached place, but it's underreached for sure. And so, our work there is just coming alongside the leaders, the pastors there of the churches, and just encouraging them and strengthening their hands, helping them do the things that God's put in their heart to do to reach the people there. And then I'm always involved in training worship leaders and that type of thing, leading worship at different churches, and then we do a lot of work there, like with women's group, and Krista will be involved in a lot of that, and then doing men's ministry. But the culture there is one that's just like a lot of depression, lots of alcoholism, substance abuse, because people just live under just a lot of, just a depressive type type environment just because of the state of the economy there. The average income is like $400 a month. And things are, the prices of things there are much less, except for fuel. It's about $6 a gallon, if you can imagine. So you don't necessarily drive any more than you just have to. But everything else is pretty cheap to us. You know, it's not to them, of course, but to us, it's, you know, it's relatively inexpensive for us to live there. But, you know, the way you could be praying is just praying for Krista and I, that God will give us direction and give us those divine encounters with people, you know, that God's preparing their hearts to receive Him. In times past, there's been a real spiritual hunger there, but right now is not one of those times. You know, it's just lots of apathy, a lot of people leaving the country just because the economy is so bad, the job situation is so bad. People leave and go to Hungary or go to Germany for better jobs and better pay. And so you could pray for us that God would just give us, you know, direction and guidance. Even the time we were there for those 6 weeks, we had some great encounters with people that we're looking forward to connecting more with when we get back there and visiting and having that opportunity to bring them into our home and build relationships, that type of thing. And then just praying that, you know, God would open hearts and bring a hunger among the people there, among the young people and young families and adults there, that there'd just be a hunger to know Him and to find that hope that's in Him. You know, people just live in such hopelessness there. But we know there's hope, isn't there, in Jesus. And so we're going to be carrying that message everywhere we go there. And we appreciate so much your support. It's just such a blessing to us. And even more so your prayers. Because you really feel those prayers when you're overseas in a place like that. You know, because it's just so different. You know, and those of you that's experienced it, you know what I mean. You know, when you're used to being here where we live, where there's just so many churches, so many Christians, not that we don't have a lot of problems, because we do, don't we? And we desperately need God, but there's just so much of God's work and God's people here. And of course, we take it for granted. And you go over places like that where you can drive through cities in Serbia of 30, 40,000 people, and there's no evangelical church. Nothing. Just the Orthodox church, which is fairly empty, you know, and in a few others that they're just not doing anything. You know, they're not sharing the good news with people. And so it's quite a different situation when you're in places like that. But we're just so thankful to have this privilege that God's given us at this time to spend this time. And we don't know if it's going to be for 1 year or how many years God's going to allow us to do this. But we're heading out in about 4 weeks, and we'll be there till probably like December sometime, and we'll come back for a short visit. So pray for us. We'll be leaving our daughter and our grandson that live with us. And that'll be challenging for all of us. Thank the Lord for FaceTime, you know, and but it'll be challenging. But you know, God's in all of it, and He's going to bless it all. So thank you so much for your prayers. Thank you.